In just a few hours, jury selection begins in the first trial of a Baltimore police officer charged in the death of Freddie Gray. Officer William Porter has pleaded not guilty to multiple charges. His defense team says he may not get a fair trial in a city that is still recovering from the protests and the riots that followed Gray's death in April. Al Jazeera's John Terrett is live for us this morning outside the courthouse in Baltimore. John, good morning. Right. What is the atmosphere like as this trial begins?
Well, good morning, Stephanie and Del. It is almost 7 months to the very day since State Attorney Marilyn Mosby filed charges against 6 Baltimore police officers. And today, the first of 6 trials, that of William G. Porter, gets underway. As you can imagine, having a police officer on trial in Baltimore is a pretty big deal, and the issues surrounding the case very complex.
No justice! No peace!
Baltimore City Center, the scene of vocal protest earlier this year, now the trial venue for the first of the 6 officers charged in the death of Freddie Gray.
Mr. Gray's death was a homicide.
William Porter has pleaded not guilty to manslaughter, second-degree assault, misconduct in office and reckless endangerment. But publicity surrounding the case is one of the toughest hurdles facing the accused police officer and his defense team.
The biggest challenge for the defense is the climate right now for a police officer charged with manslaughter or any sort of criminal act against an unarmed civilian.
16 shots!
Protests against police officers have taken place not just in Baltimore but all over the country. Porter's trial is getting underway on the heels of a murder indictment against a Chicago police officer. Baltimore is still recovering from riots following the death of Freddie Gray. He suffered a spinal injury after he was arrested on April the 12th during his transportation in a police van. Prosecutors contend Officer Porter caused his death when he failed to secure Gray with a seatbelt, contrary to a recently adopted policy.
That boy's leg looked broke.
This video purports to show Porter looking on as Gray is shackled and placed in the van.
He doesn't step up to seatbelt him. Is that a crime? Does that rise to the level of such unreasonable conduct on the part of an officer? Not every wrong is a crime.
It was a deliberate failure to do their duty.
Billy Murphy sees the case differently. He represented Freddie Gray's family in the civil case and reached a $6.4 million settlement with the city.
Every one of the officers who was in a position to know and had a duty to know his medical condition just ignored him. And that's called malfeasance in office. That's the theory of the prosecution's case.
According to court filings, the driver of the police van stopped at around 9 a.m. and asked Porter to check on Gray. And according to a report in the Baltimore Sun newspaper, Gray asked for medical help. The van made another stop to pick up another suspect. Paramedics weren't called until 9:24 when the van reached the police station. Gray's statements and those of all the officers accused will likely raise complex legal questions in court. But in Freddie Gray's neighborhood, where his memory looms large, the answer is simple.
Somebody needs to pay for what they did to that boy. Somebody needs to pay for that. Because 6 police, and then he goes in the hospital and dies? Spine injury? No.
Trials for the other 5 officers charged are scheduled from January through March next year.
And the city of Baltimore says that the case against Officer Porter is not the totality of its case against the 6 officers, and that people should watch to see what happens in each of those 6 cases as they play out between today and the middle of next year. Del and Stephanie?
John, are police they're expecting protests at all around the trial today?
Yes, they are. You might be able to see over my shoulder some barriers surrounding the courthouse. The protesters say they'll be here between 8:30 this morning and 5 this afternoon. They say that they're going to protest peacefully, but in the pre-trial hearings, there were breakaway protesters who ran amok through the town, and the police have a system for dealing with that here. It's the squad system, so there are squads on standby, and if protesters do break away from this area where there will be barriered in, then they will be sought after by the police squads, who will go and shut them down from trying to disturb the peace of the city. Stephanie.
All right, John Terrett for us in Baltimore. John, thank you.
I'm the leading state sponsor of terrorism.